For me, that was one of the things about the film that I liked, and when I read it, and I thought, after doing There Will Be Blood, I wanted to do something different for myself, and this felt like an opportunity to try that. I mean, it's funny, but I've not done a sort of a romantic comedy before, and I guess that for me, if there's any cat and mouse to it, if she's, the aggressor, what I liked about that relationship was Brian, my character, is somebody who speaks a lot via his actions, not necessarily his words. So when a pretty girl like that asks, can you see my skirt? He just looks and says, not really. Or like, come by my work, and he just does. And that's like really surprising to me, because he's a seemingly normal guy, works in a mattress store, and for a guy like that who also has a repressed or depressed quality to be able to have that confidence was something that I found really surprising and kind of heroic, in a small way. And that is something that really intrigued me, and I could understand, but I also wanted to figure out and learn more about. I felt like it was a little mysterious too, which I liked, and I just thought Brian just kept constantly surprising me, and part of it was that relationship with Zoe's character. I think you try and get to know the characters best as you can before you start filming. In what's written and what's not written, and then if you know the person well enough, and then you are that person, you just have to go with what's coming at you too, because a lot of it is you think certain things, but then when you get there, you don't know what the other actor's going to do, and you do have to be open enough in that part to respond to what's happening. So I'm not sure. I didn't do a lot of takes where I would go bigger this time and then try and be more repressed. This one, there was a place of comfort for me as Brian that felt right when we did it. Part of that, what I liked about the script is that Brian kind of grounds the film. It's a little bit through his eyes, and he's sort of the heart of it, and it allows for these characters to have something to bounce off of. I like the sort of dichotomy between my character and then somebody like John Goodman talking to him, his character, and that relationship. Working with Zoe was really easy. She's great. She's such a lovely, sweet girl, and really easy to work with as an actor, and playful, and just great, and we had a nice time. Well, I've definitely been in ruts, and I think having some kind of perseverance is important through that. And I think the one driving thing for Brian, no matter how things were going with Zoe's character or with his family, was trying to get this baby, because I think he wanted to take care of somebody, and I think he needed a purpose, because I think that guy, Brian, is smart and came from a good place, and I don't think that was his dream job or anything, and I think he still needed a bit of a purpose, and I think that baby was his purpose for whatever reason, and I know I've certainly felt like I had a purpose for myself, at least. There's things like continuity, when you're making a movie and you shoot a scene from all these different angles, and from 1 minute to the next, a baby goes through different moods and emotions, and it was really hard. But I really liked it because it distracted me from being able to act at all. To think about what I was doing, because I had to care for this person and make sure she was okay. So it was actually very freeing too as an actor, even though I felt, like I had to take care of this girl, and then starts wailing and crying. It was tough.
No.
I've never done mushrooms with my family. I think that's, that's got to be quite the bonding experience. There's certainly, it says something about how close their family is and that they can have some fun together. Yeah, Ed was very funny about that. He's from a different generation than I am, so yeah, I think he might have had to take his cues from us. I'm not sure if mushrooms were a big thing back in when he was a young man or not.
Mushroom omelets, that's
Yes, yes.
Those he knows.
Yeah, yeah. My involvement as an executive producer was not really on the business end of anything, which was good. It was just that I got involved in the film very early, and Matt and I had a really good relationship and felt a little bit collaborative. I mean, it's his film, he's the director, he's the author, but definitely talking about casting and getting the movie together when we can do it. And I was just with it for a long time and trying to help it get made. So that's really what it was. So, yeah, I listen to a lot of hip hop, and that's one of the things that I knew Matt and I were on the same page right away. Is I thought it's like if Brian might listen to like certain types of hip hop, and he said something, and I said that's right. I was thinking that too. Just because he's got these like little surprises, I feel like. Yeah, I love hip hop.